We are at home with the HOOS, presented in part by UVA Vascular, and joined now by a guy who carries on the theme of multi-talented Cavaliers here on this segment, talking with us this week. He was a member of the UVA class of 2015, is now a member of the Los Angeles Chargers. Still seems strange to say Los Angeles Chargers, but that's beside the point. He is Darius Jennings, and he joins us today from his family's home in Maryland. And Darius, great to see you again, my man. And let me start with your recent news of your locale. After 3 years with Tennessee, you just signed a free agent deal with the Chargers late last March. So tell us how that came to be and what kind of a role you're expecting with the Chargers.
Had a great time in Nashville. Love the Titans, but my contract was up. It was a contract year for me. So, I'm just talking with them, talking with my agent, talking with other teams, who could possibly be interested in my services. The Chargers popped up on the radar. Fortunate enough, we were able to get a deal done. I'm excited to head out to LA, join the team, just help out any way I can.
Yeah, I saw that your deal was signed on March 30th. That's in the midst of all this self-quarantining and all these unusual circumstances. What was that process like under these current circumstances, and was it altered markedly in any way?
Yeah, typically, you'll come in, you'll sign in the city, meet the coaches, meet the GM and everything, but everything was through email. They send it to my agent, and then they send me a copy. We all had to sign it separately, and kind of send it back and forth between the three parties.
The NFL draft is this weekend. I'm curious, as a guy who was undrafted that managed to latch on to the league, despite that fact, I'm curious what advice you might have for players who go undrafted, as you did out of UVA, and go the free agent route to try to make a team.
Yeah, I went undrafted. Didn't even sign a contract after the draft. The Cleveland Browns called and said, "Hey, we have a rookie minicamp. You can come and try out for us." There are about 50 of us, and they signed eight out to 50. So, and I'm heading into year 6 now. So really just going there focused. I had a mindset. I was coming there to take someone's spot. There are plenty of undrafted guys who make the roster each year. So just take advantage of your opportunities. Be smart in the classroom. Make sure you know what you're doing on the field so they can trust you. Take care of the small things. Be coachable. Don't get into any trouble off the field. And if you're a good person playing good ball, they're going to find you, and the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, it's like a business-like approach you've always had here, and I know whether it's on the field or off the field, which is where I want to go. I mentioned that you were an example of a guy who is defined by much more than just football and just the game. For the last couple of years, I know you've been taking active steps toward preparing yourself for life after football. Tell folks some of the things that you've been up to these last couple of years.
Yeah, so a few of the things that I have done, I've partnered with the NFL Players Association. They kind of host these externship programs for us in our offseason just to kind of refine our skills, get out, network, take advantage of those things that you might not be able to do as a student athlete in college. So I've done 3 of them so far. One was Events DC and Under Armour, both in 2018. I believe that was 2018. And then this past year, I was back at Virginia with the athletics department.
What was the biggest surprise from all of your experiences that you saw there, that something you walked into, had no idea, walked away saying, how about that?
The biggest surprise was how many people actually work behind the scenes. Just being a football player there, we just really saw our coaches, and we were in McHugh just doing that, and then we were in the classrooms. So really just to see how many people are under athletics and how many different branches it kind of breaks off under, that was probably the biggest shock for me.
When Virginia beat Virginia Tech in football in November, where were you when the streak was snapped, and what was your experience like watching that?
Yeah, I was home. It was right after Thanksgiving. I got to spend it with my family. Just being able to experience that and see all the guys out there playing under one common goal, attacking it, fighting every inch, every down, every play of the game. It definitely was amazing. At least in my career, we definitely had a lot of close games with them, and we just couldn't just couldn't finish.
Yeah.
We couldn't pull it out in the fourth quarter. So to see them finally do it, I'm sure it was a weight lifted off of Bronco and the guy's shoulders.
All right, it is time for the lightning round here with the lightning quick Darius Jennings. And here we go with a couple of questions coming your way. Let's start it off. Favorite play or game at UVA as either a college player or even as a pro?
Favorite play at UVA would be touchdown my freshman year, Thursday night against Miami. Took a screen like 50, 60 yards, primetime TV.
All right. What was your favorite non-football UVA sports moment as an undergrad?
Favorite non-football sports moment, 2013 UVA versus Duke basketball game in Charlottesville. I think like Joe Harris, he might have had like 25, 30 points.
Yeah.
We won. We stormed the court. I lost a shoe in the process. Thankfully, someone returned it to me. But yeah, I'll go with that right there.
In your time at UVA, what was your favorite place to eat on grounds or even in Charlottesville?
On grounds, I'm gonna say either the Pav, they had Chick-fil-A, or Runk Dining Hall. They served breakfast from 10 to 2 over the weekends, and that was always clutch. When you want to wake up late, you can still catch breakfast. Off campus, Zen Burger opened up probably like my third year there, and I still love it. Like, it's one of the best burgers I've had.
Darius, you are off the hot seat. The lightning round is over. Appreciate you taking the time, my man, and good luck to you. Looking forward to following you out west.
Appreciate it, Dave.
All right. That is At Home with the HOOS. It's presented by UVA Vascular. UVA Vascular, they treat a full spectrum of vascular diseases. To see a full list of conditions they treat and to learn more, visit uvahealth.com/vascular. And a reminder, next week, we head inside the home of the former ACC Player of the Year, Malcolm Brogdon, to find out what life is like for the former NBA Rookie of the Year in our next At Home with the HOOS. We will see you then.